Glad to hear. We are talking about the full moon in Leo in this video. Trust you're doing well. Before we get into it, I'd like to extend an invitation to you. If you are interested in my astrological services or you have a question about astrology, you can contact me at cosmicgirl101@protonmail.com. Not everyone is going to be brave and want to put out questions on a public forum like YouTube. So if that's you, please go ahead and connect with me. I would be happy to answer any questions that you may have if I am able. So we're going to explore the full moon in Leo, and we're also going to be doing some horoscopes for all the zodiac signs at the end of the presentation. So let's get into it. A full moon in Leo. This is exciting because full moons in Leos are indicating a heartfelt expression. The full moon is about the full expression of a peak of emotion, a peak of an experience. And in Leo, it's about the heart, it's about love. So this is for our second full moon of 2025. A full moon that's all about the love and expressing it, how we express it, how we want to bring what we find joy in out to be seen by others. That's this full moon in Leo. It's at 24 degrees and 6 minutes at the top of the screen here, and it's opposing the sun, the domicile of the zodiac sign of Leo, in Aquarius at 24.6 degrees. And we also have right next to that sun a combust Mercury at 26 degrees. So this full moon isn't about intellect. It's about heart expression, feelings, emotions, intuition. That's what we're dealing with because of this combust Mercury to the sun in Aquarius. This is a good thing. We're not intellectualizing our feelings, our emotions, what we want to express. It's just full on coming from our souls. So this is gorgeous. Great for if you have been intellectualizing, writing down lists, the pros and cons, looking at the costs, looking at factoring in all the different elements of the mind and the thought when it comes to expressing yourself. When it comes to love and your feelings, it's going to be easier. So I like that for this full moon in Leo. Now, it's happening on the 13th of February in my location, Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. I am located in the Southern Hemisphere. But it might be happening on the 12th of February. It depends where you're located on our gorgeous planet. So if you work with lunation cycles, you want to follow your progressed moon, for example, or work with an electional chart, know the actual time of this event to get accuracy. Our hearts are on show on the 12th or 13th of February, and intellect and thought is out the window. So this is quite some full moon that we're in for. Yay. So how would you practically work at this full moon? If you've been shy, you haven't been completely brave enough to speak from your heart chakra, this will be the full moon where it'll be easier to engage. It's also easy to let your freak flag fly without any thoughts. So reckless abandonment at a karaoke show, putting out your artwork to the public, doing public speaking, declaring your love. This will be the full moon to do it with reckless abandonment and no shame, because this Leo is all about the ego and pride, and that's what's on the show here. So you will take pride in your creative works, your heart's expression, who you are, what you love, what you enjoy. There's an optimism, there's an enthusiasm, there's a childlike excitement when we're talking about the zodiac sign of Leo connected with a full moon. I think this is gorgeous. Let's not remove the other components, and that is the planetary aspects that are happening at the time of this full moon, apart from it being amazing, over the top, opulent, extravagant, indulgent. This is my heart's desire. I'm going to trumpet it to the world. That full moon's having conversations with planet Uranus in Taurus, and that's a square. So squares are about a conflict, and the conflict's about taking action. The square is a Mars aspect, and Mars is about action. So the conflict is taking action. So Uranus is like, do it, do it, do it, do it. It's sort of really egging us on at the time of this full moon to take a risk, do something odd, do something that you'd never do, and just go for it. That can be great, again, for taking off the shackles and the filters that you might have embodied regarding your relationships or what you do when it comes to things that you engage with, that you enjoy. So this can be like the genius breakthrough. You take the action and it's just the tonic that you needed. And I find this square with Uranus to this full moon in Leo very helpful from my perspective. We also had that Uranus squaring the domicile of Leo, the Sun, and Mercury in Aquarius. I'm not too concerned about that. We're not talking about intellectualizing. We're talking about removing, being cold and distant and fragmented from our soul and heart's desire. I find this helpful. We also have Mars retrograding at 17 degrees, trining Saturn at 18 degrees. So Mars is in Cancer, the moon sign, and it's trining Saturn in Pisces. This is good for that water element coming on with intuition, feelings, and emotions. And the two malefics, Mars and Saturn, are agreeing that it's time to cut out, put to death these feelings and emotions that stop progression or life force. So I think this is a wonderful full moon when I start peeling back the layers. We also have Mars retrograde in Cancer, squaring off with Chiron in Aries. Again, this is that square. The conflict is to take action. So Chiron, like Mars retrograde in Cancer, is like, listen, it's like these planets are going. Mars is like, listen, I can't be worried about the past and my past wounds. It's not my identity. It's not who I am. I just need to trust my feelings, emotions, and intuition and go for it. And get past, like, break barriers that trap us, block us, and stop us from living our bliss. So I find that really helpful at the time of this full moon in Leo. So in short, just looking at the chart, yeah, the squares and malefic trine, opposition, of course. But that is the trap of being paralyzed by fear. Leo isn't about fear. Leo is bold, moves towards its heart's desire. So the conflict with the squares that you may experience at the time of this full moon is simply letting ego out the window and just let it all out. Let it all out. Fear can be left at the door. There's no need to not express who you are, what you love. Please, it's not necessary. This Leo full moon's encouraging everyone to get on a soapbox and express themselves. So I find the full moon in Leo a wonderful second lunation of 2025. And I think we're all in for excitement. So again, practically how to use, work with, love and acknowledge this full moon in Leo. Adorn yourself with jewels, adorn yourself with opulence, using the resources that you have at hand. Love what you love. And because that full moon is in Leo, it's going to be recognized. There can be some moments of some big achievements or public announcements going on about what you do love, who you love, what you enjoy. So go for it on this full moon is the astrological advice with these connections with the planets in aspects and alignments. I'd be absolutely going for what you love here. So just as a side note, I'm using an astrology software program called AstroTheros. I just want to show you something really cool. If you're new to astrology and you're like, oh, I get really confused about the moon cycles, well, I just want to show you something. They've added a new feature, which I think is great to their software program. So I'm just going to go back to the first quarter square after the new moon in Aquarius that we experienced. And that was in Taurus. And you can see this circle here has that half lit up with that white little spot there. Well, that's indicating that this is a quarter moon. And then when you go forward, this moon, you can see it gets filled up with the white. And that's indicating that. So when we get to the 10th of February, so I'm recording this in advance. So we get to the 10th of February, then we've got this waxing gibbous moon phase. And so that moon, that circle's filling up. And then when we get to the exact opposition with the sun and the moon at 24 degrees 6 minutes, from Leo to the sun in Aquarius, 24 6 minutes, you can see that circle's filled up, but then you keep going forward and then see how the shade, the darkness starts to take over. And that's how you can tell it's a waning phase of the moon. So a waning gibbous phase. Check this out. Now that this is on the screen anyway, February 20, look at this. We've got a massive water trine. Okay, I might do a video about that. That's amazing because that's the last quarter square phase of this moon cycle. Okay, great. Yeah, I just wanted to show that because I thought that was a pretty cool feature for people that get a little bit, oh, I don't understand moon phases. That's a good way of like having a relationship with it physically when you walk outside, but you can see it in a 2D perspective here on your screen. Okay, so now we're going to get into astrology for all zodiac signs. So let's do some horoscopes for all signs of the zodiac, and we will start with the sign Leo. Leo, this full moon is going to have you feeling a little extra and quite expressive when it comes to wanting to change your body, your image, how people see you, and start something new. So this can be feeling like you want to really inject a life force that you feel that you've been concealing from others or within yourself. So you may have been experiencing for the Leo sun, moons and risings out there that you've been playing it very cool, keeping things, even keeled. And it's just time to get the microphone out and turn on your favorite karaoke program and sing your heart out. And this is something that you incorporate organically, which is loud, proud self-expression. So this full moon will have you feeling, I just want to dance, I want to sing, and get back into feeling happy, loving, emotional, and excited about your life. You are the captain of your own ship, and this full moon will have you feeling like you want to jump out of your skin and maybe want to do something like rebrand yourself, do something youthful and exciting. So for the Leo sun, moons and risings, This full moon is a full moon where you can just throw caution to the wind about the fear of being your authentic self. So to hell with it. This is actually what I'm into. This is what I love to do. So I'm going to start really incorporating it on the day to day. And that is a wonderful way to be your authentic self. So you are potentially, Leos out there, going to be really feeling some quite passionate, hearty doses of self-love and expression. So really nice for the Leo sun, moons and risings because it's all connected to you. So for Virgos now we are talking about this full moon and this heartfelt expression coming from something that is from the past or been laying dormant. So this could be investments or challenges to confront adversaries, and that could be adversaries through self-indulgence or someone that is around you, almost someone that's being put to the side like a shadow, and you're confronting it head on now. So that can be a vice. It could be something that you're not really comfortable in expressing, and that could be esotericism, a spiritual practice, or somewhere that you go to retreat. So this full moon is going to have you feeling that you want to scratch that itch to get something exposed or bring it out from the darkness and into the light. So this is about not feeling shame about what you find attractive regarding your heart's desires. So if you, for the Virgo sun, moon and rising signs out there, have been playing it cool in keeping a relationship on the down low or a investment opportunity or something that makes your heart sing, this full moon may be the moon where you go, yes, this is it, or you confront someone that you've had enough with, whether it be a behavior or an actual habit or person. So that's quite inspiring when you have a full moon, Virgo, sun, moon, and risings in a house that would otherwise be left unnoticed. Moving on to Libra, we have this full moon happening for you in a part of your chart that's going to feel like you're having some sort of exposure or success in your community or with your collabs. And that's promising. So if you're into art, craft, anything that you do that you express from the heart, it's going to be received well in community or will be given a leg up by some powerful allies or friends around you. Like the word of mouth is spreading about the Libra sun, moons and risings on this full moon. And that could be quite helpful to push you along in a professional endeavor or a career opportunity comes to pass. You may also be taken by surprise by some friends or some allies around you that you connect with in your social circles that are a little extra. So some friends or people around you may surprise you by their extravagance or indulgence. You may be in luck and getting some gifts that really do make your heart sing as well for the Libra sun, moons and risings. So lovely full moon for Libra rising with this full moon in Leo and the sun and the moons of Libra, of course, as well. Moving on to Scorpios. So we now have this full moon happening in a part of your chart where you may get some achievement accolades. You may have some professional success. This is the time to shine regarding pitching your ideas with reckless abandonment to superiors in your workspace or environment. You may also feel like you need to recycle the passion with your career. So you may be feeling, oh, yes, that's what I'm missing when it comes to enjoying what I do on the day-to-day when I go to work. So I'm going to do something different to put the spark back in the environment and keep me engaged. So for the Scorpios out there, this could be also about you trying to bring something back in regards to your love of what you do professionally. So you may be feeling, yes, this is it. This is my dream job. Or you know what? I can tweak it if I need to be in this career for whatever reason. Or maybe I can consider maybe having some frank conversations with people that are connected to my work life about my less than enthusiastic approach to what I do on a day to day. And that can have you having some pretty big and powerful conversations with your superiors, professionally, Scorpio risings. So that's quite an interesting full moon for you, but it is going to also make you very aware of you having childlike experiences every day with your work. Do you love what you do? Or are you having a bit of an outburst? That's a possibility. It's like, oh, I just can't do this anymore. I need to do something else. It's draining my enthusiasm. So it could be a double-edged sword full moon for the Scorpios out there. But nevertheless, this heart's desire and expression can be uplifting, whether it's engaging more in injecting excitement in your workplace or just feeling excited about you finally letting something go. You've come to your peak, and that's okay, in accepting that maybe what you do professionally is just not for you anymore. Okay, moving on to Sagittarius. Sagittarius, this is about bureaucracy and legalities, your philosophy about life, travel, and education. All of these topics need a way for you to be able to express yourself. So, are you needing Sagittarius risings at this full moon to break the rules a little bit? Be a little bit of a maverick when it comes to towing the line, doing the right thing all the time. You may be a little bit bored with the philosophies about life that you've incorporated when it comes to travel and education and the way your moral and ethical compass points and fluctuates. So you may be feeling like you want to break the rules here, is what I'm getting for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. You're ready to, I don't really have to keep towing the line and working within these parameters of restriction regarding my philosophies of life and my educational level and my child. I'm okay. I can do things, but what I really want to do, and what I think Sagittarius, Sun, Moons, and Risings may be really experiencing, is wanting to engage with more childlike enthusiasm regarding expressing your heart's desire and how the bigger picture of your personal life is maybe just a little bit too measured for you. So you may want to boldly step into not being so reserved about such topics as bureaucracy. So get involved with a challenge. Get involved with fighting the good fight when it comes to foreign people, places, and faces. Maybe you need that shake up, and maybe you need to express your heart's desire through helping others and not so much singular thoughts. So you might be wanting to extend your reach in bigger places and connecting with different people faces as well. So I think for Sagittarius, sun, moons, and risings, this can be quite an empowering full moon for you to, get out of this mindset of playing by the rules. It might be time to bend them a little, and that's okay. Just don't go bulldozing while you do it and get yourself all in trouble. Sagittarians risings flee. They go in where angels spear to tread. So watch for being inspired by foreign concepts, people, places, and faces that may take you by surprise, but may have you enthusiastically engaged. Moving on to Capricorns, we have this full moon happening in a part of your chart that's connected to shared resources, other people's assets that you benefit from. That could be an intimate partnership. It could be a business partnership. It could be a stockbroker. It could be a cryptocurrency person that you're connected to that helps you build wealth through cryptocurrency. There's a plethora of ways that we have partnerships, and this full moon may also expose extravagance that a partner may have. So you may find out that they've been overstretching the credit card, and you may go, no more, we can't do this. So you may find that relationships that you're connected to that share a financial interest with you can be a little extra, and that may have you feeling nervous. So even though you feel nervous or you feel not sure, maybe just know the details, data, and analytics of what they're actually engaged in financially and how it benefits you. So encourage conversation, and they may be onto something. So your caution may not be warranted. But of course, if you come to the realization that your finances are stretched, then this is also a good time to address how you are unnerved, and maybe you're the level-headed person that gives them the tonic of, it's not to say that we can't enjoy ourselves and have some opulent moments of indulgence, but we can do it in a more tempered, measured way. So watch for tantrums from people that you're connected to with finances, and watch for extravagance, but we don't want to choke the enthusiasm of reaching quite lucrative financial opportunities. So it's a delicate balance for the Capricorn sun, moons, and risings in taking a risk or playing it cool. So that's what you might be experiencing with this full moon. And I wouldn't dismiss altogether that you might have a financial peak with an investment or a windfall of some kind, Capricorn, sun, moons, and rising signs. And moving on to Aquarius, we have this full moon happening for you regarding relationships. Marriage as well is highlighted here, and the ending and the beginning of pleasure pursuits, be it sports or recreation, or wanting to cement an agreement or a contract that feels inspiring, and where you can let your youth shine through regarding relationships and contracts. So you might be just a person, Aquarius, sun, moons, or risings out there, that someone requires to inject life force back into an organization or, again, a relationship. So I'm saying sports and recreation because these are pleasure pursuits. So you might want to start engaging in a new sport or a hobby with a partnership, or you may take on a contract at a gym or a kids' recreational camp, for example. But this looks like a pretty excitable emotional expression of love from the heart about how you want to partner up with people and how it gives you pleasure to do that. And that is helpful for also injecting some sexy, sassy fun times into those potentially stale relationships. Marriage, again, is also highlighted. I think I mentioned that Aquarius risings, but beautiful full moon in a part of your chart that's all about where you seek connection. Really nice Aquarius, sun, moons, and risings. Moving on to Pisces, we now have this full moon for you in Leo happening in a part of your chart that's about the daily grind, things that are familiar to you. So this full moon is about service to yourself and service to other people. So where is it for you that you need to put more service in yourself, Pisces rising, in injecting some fun? Where's your heart's desires and where have they gone? It's time for you to love on yourself. And that's a service to your heart, your mind, spirit, and soul. So it's a full moon where you may be feeling you need to start painting, start singing, get out there and do a poetry workshop. You might also feel like you want to indulge your pets. So getting your pet a diamante choker, for example, or a new blanket they put on their body, a new pajamas, for example. So you just might want to love on your pets if you're interested in dressing them up. I wouldn't be too surprised if you want to do that. Or if you have pets, you might be going to a pet show and your pet might be getting a award or get the blue ribbon in this is the breed and this Pisces rising sun moon's pet is the number one. So pets may be becoming a little bit more famous. So if you put them online or you put them in shows, this could be the moon where it's like, yay, they actually won. We also, for you, Pisces, sun, moons, and risings, can be also seriously considering the payoff when it comes to really putting your heart and soul into your work and how your body's responding in kind. So your energy levels might be peaking or they may be plummeting at a warp speed. And if that's the case, then that's your cue with this full moon in Leo to maybe put your pride and ego aside when it comes to keep pushing and pushing and pushing yourself. So you may also have a bit of a sobering full moon in going, I really need to love my body a little bit more as well. Moving on to Aries, sun, moons, and risings, we have this full moon happening in a part of your chart that's all about the self-expression of your creativity through your hobbies, side hustles, anything that you do publicly might get some recognition as well. So hobbies, you might start picking up the paintbrushes. You might want to start expressing yourself through public speaking. And children, the topic of children is also highlighted on this day. So children might be having some exciting news for you. And this could be a pregnancy, a surprise pregnancy announcement from children, if applicable. Or if you don't have children, Aries, suns, moons, and rising, this full moon may make you want to cozy up to your intimate partner and go, it's time. And that's wonderful. We also have on this full moon for the Aries, sun, moons, and rising signs that gambling, taking a risk with an investment is highlighted. And if you take a bit of a risk, you may be quite surprised with the outcome. It could be quite successful. And Also a little bit intimidating. So you may feel like, oh, I want to take a risk, I want to take a gamble, but I don't know, is this the right thing? If you dabble in taking a risk with an investment such as cryptocurrency or a stock or going to the casino or buying a lottery ticket, this may turn out a little better than you expect. And the reverse of that is if you've been overextending yourself with indulging in gambling and risk investments, you may want to temper that down and may need to pull the reins in a little bit and go, yeah, okay, I'm a little bit too much. It's too much. I can't do this anymore. So you might come to the end of a risk investment streak and you are putting something to bed forever when it comes to indulging in risk investments. Moving on to Taurus suns, moons, and risings. We have this full moon happening for you. It's all to do with privacy, things that you do behind the scenes in your home and with your family. And parents and parenting is also highlighted on this full moon. So for Taurus suns, moon, and risings, this is a bold expression that's coming from the depths and behind the scenes with family or your home or property is also indicated that's up in the spotlight. So you might want to put your home on the market. You may be moving, want to renovate, or maybe come to the terms that it needs a fresh up. My home needs a fresh up. So I'm going to go and get some paint and I'm going to get creative. I'm going to put that bright red door on the front of the house. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's a full moon Leo. I've got to express myself. So you may be ready to Taurus sun, moons, and risings. Just be more creative and expressive when it comes to your home, family, real estate, and property. And doing it in private, because that part of the chart for the Taurus sun, moons, and risings can be private, and you may have been good at tempering and holding back your extravagant flair for creativity, but now would be the full moon to go for it. Go to the paint shop and go wild, Taurus sun, moons, and risings. You may also be quite surprised at maybe moving quite swiftly might be up in the air as well, whether it's because of work or a career move. This could be a possibility as well for the Taurus sun, moons, and risings. A sudden move. Okay, moving on to Gemini sun, moon, and rising signs. We have this full moon happening in a part of your chart that's all about communication, short distance travel, education, and siblings. Well, you could have a sibling that's being a little extra if you have a sibling, or you may feel that your environment is a lot more exciting than you gave it credit for. So you might be more prone to engage with your local community, have a barbecue with your neighbors, like meet your neighbor that you've just ignored for 10 years. All of a sudden you come together and you have this fantastic conversation and you guys end up out on the town for the night. Just looks like a really fun full moon in Leo for the Gemini sun, moons, and risings. It also could be you wanting to maybe look at modes of transport or technological gadgets more forensically. So you might be going, oh, I want that latest phone or that new car. Can I do it? Can I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? And so you may be a little bit tempted to invest in vehicles or technological gadgets that you use to make your day-to-day operations run more smoothly. And that can cost you maybe a little bit extra than you anticipate, but you may be really feeling the itch and just going, oh, I just want it. So you might be making some really big indulgent purchases, Gemini sun, moons, and risings at the time of this full moon. And if communication has been less than savory between you and siblings, this might be where you go, oh, I'm just going to break this chain of hostility, and you may want to engage. So you might be really feeling, oh, I miss my sibling, or I need to sort out this problem. So This can be a full-on heart's expression from yourself, and you extend it to a sibling. So you could be extending an olive branch as well to someone or someone in your environment. Gemini, sun, moons, and risings. And moving on now to Cancer. And Cancer for you, this full moon is happening in part of your chart that's about your skill set. So what skills do you have that can be capitalized on? So you may be feeling that I can spread my reach a bit more. Maybe I can do a side hustle. Maybe my children, if applicable, can help. They've got some creative ideas that really help my assets and possessions. So children, if applicable, might be helping your money grow in some way, shape, or form as a Cancer, sun, moon, or rising at the time of this full moon, or they get public recognition for their involvement with you and what you have as an asset that you may provide to people through a business or a public forum. This is also really lighting up, if you will, some really big successful pinnacles when it comes to your assets and your finances. So you may have some finances, almost like disposable finances, that you can invest in different assets that build wealth for you in the future. So you might be doing something like antique shopping. You may be wanting to invest in your actual body, your image. So that may mean that you want to bring on a personal trainer, or you end a journey with a personal trainer, for example, as well. You finally have reached your physical peak condition and you don't need to hold their hand anymore and you can do it on your own. That's a possibility as well. But this full moon in Leo is about a full-on expression from your heart. So you might want to show off your body. So this could be like having a photo shoot, or you may want to get behind a camera and display, what you've been working on behind the scenes, and you're ready to make it public. So that's quite an interesting full moon coming up for the Cancer, sun, moon, and rising signs. So that is the horoscopes for the sun, moon, and rising signs of the zodiac. I trust you have yourself a fabulous full moon in Leo. I think it's going to be a massive one. And again, thank you so much for spending your time here with Cosmic Girl 101. If you do have any questions or inquiries, don't forget to contact me. I am open to assist if able. And if you do like the content, please consider subscribing if you haven't done already. Give the video a thumbs up, and you can also share it so other people might go, oh, this is what's happening for me. It's always good to share. And leave any comments in the comments section below. I welcome comments from the community. And speaking of community, before I end this video, check out the community page on the Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel. I'm decided that this year I'm going to be more interactive and engaged with my peeps that are members of the Cosmic Girl 101 YouTube channel, or just like to get some daily little pickups or astrological information. That community page is now going to be loaded with information, astrological musings. Okay, I'll leave it there. Till next time, stay cosmic.